played many difficult games, but because difficulty is as subjective as many other things, I'd rather not mention some, as while I may have only completed one Super Mario game in my life, and that's probably the easiest one ever made, Super Mario Odyssey, most will tell me they could beat every Mario title with their eyes closed. So I won't go listing all the games that kick my ass. Instead, I'll leave it to others to expose their weaknesses. Today's question is, what's the hardest game you've ever played?
The hardest game I've ever played? Honestly, they haven't made that game yet. To me, video games aren't hard. They could be tedious, they could be annoying, but I've been playing video games for almost 40 years, so the skill set that I have, video games just aren't hard to me.
The hardest game that I have ever played is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This was actually earlier this year. I am usually into the Souls series and I decided to try it. It was enjoyable. I think it was amazing up to a point where I did not know where to go from there. But I think I'm gonna tackle that one again maybe sometime in the future.
The hardest game I've ever played is actually Mario Kart. Why? Because when I reach a certain level, I always get licked out. Something always comes out of the blue and lick me out. I don't know why. And I keep on going back to that game because I've never gotten past the level I want to go, and I'm determined to go to that level.
The hardest game I've ever played would have to be Resident Evil. I have such a bad experience with Resident Evil. I've played with my friend, and first of all, never play Resident Evil with friends because they're not friends then. He told me to shoot at the car to get rid of the zombies behind me, which I don't know why I believe that. But I shot at the car and 1,000 zombies came from the car and I had nowhere to go. So no to Resident Evil.
Hardest game, God of War, Ghost of Sparta. It was actually set on hard mode because I wanted to challenge myself, and I find it to be the hardest because for every boss that I reached at each level, I had to get help. Yeah, that's how I zeroed the game, but it was really, really difficult.
Every end must first begin.
There are some games more difficult than others. So if you're talking about Dodonpachi, Radiant Silvergun, the Ghost and Goblin series, that's all three of the games, Viewpoint, even some of the modern games like Hollow Knight past Godmaster mode, that's annoying, and stuff like that. Dead Cells past Nightmare. So there's some of those games they're annoying, but they're not hard to me. So, and that's not me trying to show off. I'm 10-time Guinness World Record for a reason. It's just not hard to me.
The hardest game I've ever played is Tetris 99. Because I'm gonna tell you something about Tetris, right? It's one thing when you're playing with a computer. It's another thing when you're playing with 2 or 3 computers in the same game. But it's a whole other thing when you start playing with humans. It's mind-wrecking when you're playing with 98 other human beings. That is where I can't wrap my head around. So I just got 10th place one time, and I thank God I got it, and I never touched it back. So that's why it's the hardest game for me.
Thanks for watching. Let me know what game kicked your ass over and over. Which game turned you into a sniveling quitter? Or which game mentioned here was a cakewalk for you? Also, feel free to post your ideas for other questions you'd like these fine participants to answer next time around. The 3 or so minutes you invested here could have been spent doing something else, so I appreciate your time. Thanks for passing through. Feel free to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons if you're new around here and you didn't mind what you just watched. If I found a way to piss you off, however, it's only fair to take your displeasures out on those hate buttons, isn't it? Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.